Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rockfish Games stream. I am preparing some last-second things. We're going to get started here in just a moment. Thank you for your patience as we flesh this out. We will be getting started probably shortly after the allotted time. But don't you worry, we'll get there. We are almost there. Alright, I'm gonna call this good. So we're gonna pop right into it. Where was my transition? That was so fast! It just went whoop! Didn't even... Hang on a sec, did that... There's the transition. That sneaky little thing. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the official Rockfish Games stream. I'm your host, Eric Schrader, Community Ambassador. I'm going to be serving you through the course of this stream, giving you all the information that I possibly can. As the questions start pouring in about our development with EVERSPACE 2. If you look in the that upper left corner over there, if any of you have been like cataloging our progress with the different versions on the streams, you'll see that there has been a couple number increases. Once again, this is version 0.2.11610. Yeah, and we will just keep, we're gonna keep on making these little updates behind the scenes until it actually isn't broken, and then we will push through a new build for you guys. And through that, I also want to make a really quick disclaimer about new builds. We did have a lot of internal discussions about how we would be pushing those forward to you. And long story short is that the builds themselves are going to be at the big release points. So like the alpha build, getting to the beta build, there's going to be a push through there. And then the big one's going to be the early access build at the end of this year. I know some of you were kind of expecting more updates than that. We are still a long ways out of this game. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, and there's a lot of loose ends that it really wouldn't be smart on our part to push through for you guys. You wouldn't be happy, we wouldn't be happy, so we're waiting. So thank you for your patience through that, and we'll get there. Don't you worry, we will get there. Beta is confirmed for September. That is not changing. It is locked in place unless something absolutely terrible happened. But yeah, that's like boom. It's go time. Okay, so what were we doing last time? I can't even remember, but I did change my ship around a little bit. I just wanted to give you guys a little something more to look at. So we have these little side wings. Oh, what? Oh, that looks pleasant. Look at those little side wings. Yes. We've got some matching engine bits with the Sentinel this time around. So, yeah. That's kind of fun. That's kind of neat. We also, and by we, I mean Andy. Thanks, Andy. I know that we've had some issues with the job boards, like a lot. Guess what? Hey, they're fixed! Oh my gosh, we can actually do jobs now. Oh my goodness. So we're going to be doing a couple jobs for funsies through the course of the stream. We're also going to be showing off the UI a little bit more deeply because you'll notice there's been an update to it. It's just got a little bit of a stylization improvement. There's also a lot cleaner ways to distinguish if you've been taking damage or not. So you'll see that whenever we get into combat. It'll be nice and sexy. Otherwise, we are going to be showing off Union once again for anyone who missed those and opening up the doors really for discussion. As a whole, these streams, it's not meant to be like these super crazy teasers or anything like that. Obviously, we want to have those components, but the main thing is to be a source of information for you to see the progress that we've been making at Rockfish Games. And the most important aspect of this is if you have questions, if you have observations, if you have concerns, you talk with us. We're like having a conversation right now, and that's how it's going to be for the next 2 hours. So don't hold back. You ask anything and everything. I will do my absolute best to give you the official response. If I don't have it, I'm going to find somebody who will. Dang it. I will not accept not answering your questions unless it's ridiculous. Okay. Woo! That was a lot of disclaimer stuff. Goodness. All right. I see some Australians in the chat. Welcome, Kicks. I see a multitude of individuals from all over. So Twitch and YouTube are the chats that I am particularly looking at right now. We should also be streaming to Steam. Shu, if you could confirm that, that would be great. I haven't even checked. Oh, gosh. But we do want to make sure that we're getting all that information out there to as many parties as possible. You know the drill. You know the drill. So let's just go ahead and look at our equipment. We have some really sexy equipment right now. All of these are superior. And we ain't messing around. That's just how this is. I don't even think this was our save from the last time we streamed, and that's fine. I've been screwing around a little bit. I've been having some fun, and that's what there's gonna be a bit about, so it'll be good. Okay, let's take some jobs, and then we'll start talking about some of the UI adjustments and where that goes. Hey ho from Malaysia. Welcome, James. Russian in the chat. Good, excellent. All over the world. We accept humans here, so that's good. Very good. Did you add the banana for scale on a ship texture? No, we haven't added a banana for scale on the ship textures, but Excelsior. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I'm glad you remembered. That's very, very good memory, sir. Oh my gosh. All right. Mephisto Lord, what an interesting statement over on Twitch. Even if Eric was sleeping, it would still not be boring. I don't know about you. I don't know very many exciting sleepers. But thank you regardless. Oh my gosh. So I do see a question from Lax Motive. We'll address that right now before we even pick up jobs. The question is, how large is the galaxy you guys are making? So we are making a part of a very large galaxy. This is the area known as the Demilitarized Zone, otherwise abbreviated as DMZ. A centralized location of it between two particular boundaries which aren't identified here. We have shown it in other forms of media though. So you have a colonial border that's over here somewhere, and you have an Okar border over here somewhere. And the reason why this exists is because of a battle-hardened conflict between the colonials and Okar. Who'd have thought? And we are trying to leave the DMZ because it's an awful place. It's terrible. Everybody's trying to murder each other. There's not really a lot of opportunities, but at the same time, there's a pleasant amount of opportunity for those who are willing to get their hands a little bit dirty. So that's kind of the premise of where we're moving into the space of EVERSPACE 2. Obviously, we're carrying over the story from EVERSPACE 1, but you are taking an assortment of various jobs to your specific liking and making the most of it in the demilitarized zone through these 8 solar systems that we have defined on the map. Maybe there will be more. I certainly don't know. And each one of these solar systems has unique regions that are distinguished by ownership. So you have different factions that are going to be in play between these regions. So for example, if you are a friend of the GMB, this is the place to be to collect a lot of different jobs, find a lot of mining sites for them and whatnot. If you want to go raid outlaw bases, it'd probably be in this region right here. Normally these are labeled, by the way. Again, adjustments in development. You're going to see some wonky stuff on screen. Just get used to it. But yeah, you're going to have tug and pull of different opportunities based on where you go. There will also be trade lanes in the future as well. There's a lot of stuff coming to the map to where you'll have very specific locations you'll want to revisit, very specific locations you'll want to take jobs and perform certain actions and whatnot. But also, there's a story. Goodness gracious, he's still talking. Goodness, yes, I'm still talking. There's also a story that will catapult you through and guide you through all of this space that we've created as well in an intricate 20 to 30 hour campaign, maybe upwards to 40. That's entirely single player. It's a single player experience. And I'm trying to think if I got everything covered. Goodness gravy. There's a lot. There's a lot. But otherwise, you can branch off away from that story and kind of go do your own thing, take the jobs that you want, go exploring, be rewarded for it since it's handcrafted locations this time around instead of procedurally generated. Lots and lots and there's lots. There's lots. How many systems will be there at launch? Says Sergeant Slap. I like that username. Kind of going in that same sort of question. I think we're aiming for 8. Visible. So we'll have to find out at launch, I guess. But we want to have a lot of spaces for you to explore. You can even see all these little pips Like this location alone, I think there's 28 different nodes that you can travel to in a single solar system. Now, I doubt we'll have 28 in all 8 of these because 28 times 8, let's see, that's like 232, no, 64, 264 locations. That's a ton of handcrafted locations. No, wait, that's not, my math is off. Regardless, it's over 200 unique locations. That's a ton to handcraft, and the scale that which we're working on for these locations, that's massive. So I would say that we're more aiming for like 10 to 15 unique locations in each one. So guessing around 80 to 100 unique locations that you would be venturing towards. Still a lot. Still a lot. Whew. Any chance of an Okar system? I guess you'll have to wait and see. I mean, we've been there before. We were there in EVERSPACE 1, so it could possibly come up. Who knows? Aside from, you know, the team and I. All right. DMZ, how dare you? Oh my gosh. I see a pip near the Ceto star. Will you be able to come very close to the star? Absolutely. In fact, you know what? For kicks and giggles, let's go there. Let's go there. First, we're going to take a job, though. A couple jobs. And we're going to compare our reputation to see which pips we can go for. Mining and defense are going to be ideal. Let's go for GMB defense jobs. So all of these are owned by GMB, but you have sub-factions within them to diversify your reputation a little bit further. So I think defense is going to have... Man, all of these are minesweepers and acquisitions. Good. Really? Oh my gosh. Hang on a second. I'm going to see if I can generate some new ones really quick. So I think right now is a really good time to talk about the Discord. So we have a community that we spend a lot of time with, and we have a lot of fun where you can share your gallery shots of the games, as well as an assortment of like different fan art as well. We have a lot of it, and it's fun for the most part. So we appreciate anything and everything that you guys present there. Highly encourage you to come hang out. Seriously, it's pretty great. Otherwise, it does look like my jobs are then again bugged. Oh my gosh. Is Andy in the stream? Andy, if you're there, we fixed it and now it's broken again. I don't know why. Goodness gravy, all we can do are acquisitions of goods and minesweepers. You know, there's that heartbreak moment you get as a developer when you're really excited about showing something and then the build that you're currently using is so broken that it doesn't allow you to. This is actually a really good segue into why we don't push these builds out to you, because it would just literally break everything. So that sucks. And I'm sorry about that. I really wanted to do some more with that. Maybe we can find some material that we have though and still get this pip for acquisition of goods through GMB mining, because that would be nice. Diluted osnol. Do we have that? Do we have glacits? We'll have to figure that out. Otherwise, we could probably do one of these minesweeper ones. Oh my gosh. I know you've seen the minesweeper mission like a billion times. You got 2 mission types out of the many that we were planning. Woo! Let's see. Glacits. We'll see if we got those. Maybe there's some glacits in here. Glacit powder. Don't see any glacits. Unfortunate. Otherwise, we've been really upgrading our perks, which you just drop in an assortment of equipment in order to upgrade that. We're also going to track this. Maybe we have more components in our inventory that we need, or maybe we can purchase. Nope, there's nothing here. It would be labeled though, since now we are using a tracking indicator. That's unfortunate, but it's okay. Sell some junk. Oh, we probably could have used that. Oh well. It's a thermogun and a blaster. We're gonna use the executioner instead. And finally, we're going to restock these missiles. All right. Whew! Any chance of Keith T. Maxwell? Unfortunately, that character is no longer in our property. So the answer is no. We don't want to get sued. But great question. All right. So let's go ahead and travel about. See what we can discover here with our jobs that we've taken. And we're going to head to this star because somebody had asked about it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you'll also note that we have this GMB Minesweeper that populates over here. And then we also have Union Bridge, which is a lesser degree notified. Here, I'll move myself. You see this little itty bitty green right there that indicates that's another mission we have. The reason why these are distinguished from one another is straight up, this one's being tracked and this one's not. So you'll be able to see everything directly on the map, but the ones that you have targeted, you'll see a lot more clearly. So let's go to the Ceto orbit and go from there. I'm going to answer a couple more questions while we're traveling. Where is Earth in relation to this area? Earth is many light years away. Is it in the same galaxy? I want to say it's in the same galaxy. I'm actually blanking at the moment. But the overarching point is that it is a long ways away. There was a jump gate that was established to Earth, but after the colonial conflict, it was kind of removed for the sake of Earth's protection. Maybe it's back up and running, maybe it's not. But long story short, if earthen reinforcements or colonists were to show up in the DMZ, it would take a while. It would take a long while. And who knows what the immigration status looks like, like the paperwork through that. Oh gosh, that's probably horrendous. Let's see. Your plan for new DLC is adding new areas after game released. So yeah, we do have DLC plans to add more locations. We certainly do, and more content, and maybe more ships and enemy types and missions and all of that type of stuff. Like, we would love to do that. It's also kind of weird talking about that right now, since we are very focused on getting the full game released, right? So yeah, I mean, we would love to add more content later, but let's see where we get with the full game first. That will help guide us considerably with DLC in the future. Ooh, Weber drone. Oh, I missed? How embarrassing is that? Nice. Yummy, delicious credits. Just a drone, a couple drones, and an outlaw. All right, so now let's go to this Colonial Research Station. And we can kind of look here as well from the HUD. Just appreciate the look and the feel from the cockpit view. Seeing that massive sun nearby. How it's glowing inside of the cockpit. All of these are now officially working. We'll probably still have room to tweak and adjust things. One of the things is that we do have a speedometer in the ship. You can actually see it moving there. This was a popular request from you guys, so that's been plopped in. But otherwise, yeah, whenever we change our weapons and whatnot, you can see that in the lower left. We change our secondaries. That also gets swiped. Devices, consumables, our ultimates in the middle there as well. Our shield, our armor, our hull, it's all there. You can see it all. You can look around quite a lot in this cockpit. Quite a lot, in fact. And depending on the ship customization that we choose, it would even be possible to see completely upwards and maybe even back, depending on where the cockpit is oriented on the ship itself. So what I mean by that is, like, if we have, if we have a different cockpit that's in the front, like this, then our viewpoint, this comes down further and we're ahead of the ship, right? Versus if we had a cockpit that was more open. Let me find one. This is far more open cockpit, right? So now we can see all the way back. See that? So your view, and granted, I don't think very many people are going to be looking this direction, but there is that impact of customizing your cockpit that can prove to be somewhat valuable to you, depending on how you want to stylize your ship and your viewpoint. Obviously, that's also going to change a bit more whenever you change your field of view. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to go back to this because I kind of like the style of this. And I also like the coloration, especially on the inside with all the yellow lights and the red and the white. I think it looks really clean. And you'll see that those yellow lights, like that's actually consistent on the exterior here too. So we have these yellow lights on the engine, right? That are reflected on the exterior. Oh my gosh, did my wings bug out? My missiles are gone. Don't worry about that. There would also be a yellow light there. You also have the yellow glow in the middle. Beautiful. So we are going for a lot of that consistency. So here's this colonial station. Another station that we're able to shop at, buy some goods, all of that stuff that you are all akin to from all the other streams. It's a colonial research station. There's not a lot of colonials that are present in the DMZ. In fact, the military force is completely unallowed to be here. Like, they have zero presence, zero ability to be here unless, much like in EVERSPACE 1, they get OCAR approval to do so. All right. But a research station, probably fine. They're probably okay. We also have a lot of devices to choose from as well on our ship. These devices give you a momentary advantage in combat that is then on a cooldown. And you can customize those as well. So like, for example, our EMP generator, we could call it, create a short circuit using it so that all the effective targets will continue to take shield damage over time. A hard reset allows our cooldown to be reduced faster depending on how many enemies we hit, and a shield surge, which restores our shields based on how many enemies we hit. And each one has these varied properties that you can modify depending on which direction you want to take your particular ship build. And the goal is really to give you as much customization as possible. There's my missile glows. They're back. Perfect. Even the missiles match in color. Isn't that nice? We even painted the missiles for you. And, but wait, there's more. There's gonna be a lot more customization in the future that's just not ready to show yet. What? There's more? Yeah. 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 And there will also be space hazards. I know some people have been asking about that as well, pertaining to EVERSPACE 1 in particular. We saw a lot of little space hazards that you had to deal with. And this sun's not really causing us too much grief right now. That's because it's an alpha build. Just want to be incredibly clear there. Probably don't want to fly this close to a star in most normal circumstances. So yeah. So all right, let's go ahead and grab that mission, that Minesweeper mission. Oh my gosh. The Minesweeper mission. And we'll up our standing with GMB Defense through that. And we'll talk about the reputation system a little bit more. Laser light show. Feels good. That would be a bit jarring though, in truth. Like, you'd have to have like some special pilot goggles or something that doesn't make you go insane. At least I would think. Woo! Oh, an unknown signal. We might do that when we're done here. Doof VA says, and this is the point where he says, and VR is now enabled. Yeah, so we've had the question about VR so many times, and like, please understand, I am an advocate for VR. Truly, I think that this game would be a very strong candidate for it. But we also have to take into account our vision and how we are moving forward with all the processes already on the table. VR is a very big thing.
It's time to get rid of these mines.
And if we are going to go that direction, which I'm not guaranteeing, okay, there is no guarantee of VR support as of right now. But if we go that direction, we will have to make it a separate application. So you would buy either EVERSPACE 2 or EVERSPACE 2 VR. And what that allows us to do is pour our heart and soul into every aspect, every asset, and devote all the time and attention that it needs to be a full and true VR experience. We recognize that, especially from the feedback from EVERSPACE 1. So thank you to everybody who's contributed in those conversations. Space hazards like gravity, asked Palm Tree Holidays. So I know a lot of people would really like to see gravity. Oh, quick. Look in the lower left. You'll see a little spinning indicator. All the way down the lower left, a spinning indicator on our device that just kind of shows how long we have a cooldown for and that it's on cooldown so you don't try and use it again. That's a new little UI update, helping make things clear and easy to understand for you all.
It's settled.
Okay, good.
All right, so completing Minesweeper. I believe that means, yes, we have gone up to the next pip. So we've become trusted with GMB defense. And our reward for becoming trusted is obtaining this thermogun and shield. Now, this is not 100% completed with how the reputation trackers are working as of yet. But each time you move up, you're going to gain certain elements, whether it's items, like everything you see here, or it could also possibly be new perks. It could be new passives, stuff like that can benefit you in unique ways for keeping your standing with those specific factions. So it's not just do lots of things to get items. There are other benefits to increasing your standing as well, including trade lanes and possible region exploration, stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and claim these rewards. So this thermogun and this shield, it's going to pop into our inventory just like this. Boom and boom. We got them both. Nice. Nice and simple. I'm going to check for questions real quick because I know we're covering a lot, but I also want to make sure that you're getting your questions answered. Are there consequences for trying to use it again? Oh, for the device here, let me show you. So we're using the missile defense system. If we try to use it while it's on cooldown, basically it just does nothing. There will very likely be some sound. There will very likely be some sort of blip that occurs on screen so that you know when you're pushing the button, nothing is happening. So if you're kind of wondering about that, where's my feedback? I need my feedback. Don't worry. We'll get there. We'll get it. I promise. My goodness, I forgot how pretty this place looks. Creepy pretty, you know what I mean? I feel like we should go in here just for kicks and giggles. I think we've already collected all the things from here, but no, why not? Yep, we have. Cool. Whoop! Guys, I can drive real good, okay? Neat. Alright. So let's fly to the other job that we had lined up. Where is it at? It's all the way over here in Union Bridge. Here we go. Alright. Will there be a scientist's faction? More than likely, yes. More than likely, yes. I like offline gameplay. We do too. Absolutely. Now that said, we have had some pretty interesting discussions around some of the minigames within EVERSPACE 2, like the race tracks, for example, that are still progress and works. But through those, it could be kind of fun if there was like an online leaderboard where you can compete with your friends and stuff like that. It's something that we are taking note of. There's absolutely no guarantee on that, because that might also change how the online versus offline formula works. We want to be delicate in that approach. We know that we are a single-player game, and we know that the majority of our fans, the vast majority of our fans, want a single-player game as well, and we don't want to hinder that by accidentally trying to add a feature that ends up hurting everyone. So just know that there are those thoughts and ideas circulating as well. And thanks for that, by the way, because that does stem from the community. Good stuff. Will there be rare item blueprints and unique ships to hunt for? Yeah, there will absolutely be like legendary equipment. And we are still looking at unique ways to diversify ship customization. There's going to be a lot. And what we want to do is we want to have a nice balance of going out and collecting different material. Oh, we need Glacit. Let's go back to our home base really quick and see if we have any Glacit. But we want there to be a nice balance of searching around to better yourself and the components that you have. Where versus like just getting it randomly, like going to a shop and buying a ship 1,000 times to get all the different parts and looks and styles, right? So yeah, there will be a lot more discussion pertaining to the itemization since we've shown a bit already, but there's so much more. There's so much more to come with over a year's worth of development time. There will be a lot. Fixed throttle, mouse acceleration configuration, inertia dampening off. There will be a toggle for inertia dampening. Absolutely, that's been a very popular request. We will be doing that. Fixed throttle, mouse acceleration configuration. Those are wonderful things that I think need to be expressed even further on our forums so that we can keep track of that and see how other people are responding, maybe have references to other games that you are drawn to that utilize those elements. I think in a lot of cases, because we're very much a fast-paced, action-oriented game in an open-world RPG setting, the acceleration, like being able to go exactly this amount and then back instead of just like going all the way, it's not necessarily something that we feel needs to be addressed and sought after. It would be a super amazing little detail, but it's still a little detail. So we'd have to see what your thoughts are on that before we make any crazy bold moves in that space. Let's see, any more questions? Bounty hunting. Oh, that would be pretty dope, wouldn't it? All right, cool. All right, Naklai. Oh, salty. I get it. It connected. Yay, fun. Yeah, okay, no, I totally understand. Keyboard problems, man. Stinks. But yeah, no, I get you there completely. We are having full remapping support on PC, just like we had in EVERSPACE 1, maybe with a couple new features. So yeah, we'll just look forward to that. Will we have visual flying drones in game? Mining, rep, attack, protect, etc. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I'm going to answer with yes. That will be a topic for another day, though. Have I missed any juicy news updates? Don Hugh Godoko? Woo! What a username! We did talk a little bit about the UI update to the shield, the armor, and the hull of the ship. So you can see there's like this dynamic angle that's cutting around the square of the ultimate, as well as over here on your experience tracker. So little UI updates continue to become seen inside of the game. We need to see if we have any Glacit ore. Glacit ore. You can tell that all of these things are not done yet because they all look incredibly similar. That's not Glacit ore at all. Glacit! Glacit ore. Yes! We can complete this mission. Also, we have Vardum Crystal Shards, which we can use for our quest. And also, we have this, which we do not want to store. I like to keep all of my items over here. With our perk, let's see if we can top this off. We can! Nice! We're gonna go ahead and follow this as well. See what we can do there. Alright. And then we're gonna store all the stuff that we don't ever use. Cool. storage is going to be something similar to this. It's likely we'll rework how you can access your storage and whatnot. Because flying back to the home base all the time, we get it. You know, it takes a long time and it can be exhausting. So especially like if you wanted to just simply change your ship, for example, if you're like all the way over here in Kodo, for example, and you want to change your ship, you'd have to travel all the way back. That would be hyper annoying. So know that there are going to be other means to ensure that you can get to where you want and do what you would like in a fairly more speedy pathway. Okay, so now that we have Glacet, we can go complete our mission now. Will we have any more interstellar and planetary life forms to discover? I have a thing for giant worms. Well, you should get that checked out, but also we are absolutely making sure that there are interesting creatures amid space-time continuum for you to encounter. Ooh, that got deep. But seriously, yes. Let's see, are dynamic moving ship parts still a possibility for the future? That question has been asked, and the answer is still maybe. Yeah, we have a lot of time to do stuff, so we'll see. It's a really big maybe. I'll call the doc immediately. Good. Good. We'll make sure you're nice and healthy.
Calling Nefty's station.
This is Nefty's station.
I finished the job.
Affirming your signature. Thank you.
Now you might have noticed that the dialogue was in the upper left corner instead of the middle. Yeah. What's the problem? You can tell that it's a working dev build. All right. So we just dropped off that Glacet ore, which is also nice. They even have more Glacet. Look at that! We dropped off the Glacet, and then they have more Glacet. That's kind of funny. Otherwise, let's see. I think we hit this next trusted reward with G&B mining. So now we get 70 iron and 25 copper. And I think that might be able to... Yeah, we can complete this dismantling ability through all of that. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade it. That feels good. And while this doesn't really mean much right now, this dismantling is one of several different abilities that you're going to utilize a lot, especially when there's crafting. Crafting? Tell me more about crafting. Hang on there, please. Dismantling is going to be an important element through the course of the game, especially as you're wanting to cycle out lesser valuable equipment to obtain or build greater equipment. So you can see like weapons can be dismantled, dismantling may yield one additional item type, modules can be dismantled, etc., etc. So we'll just go and continue to invest everything that we can in here because, you know, we can. And we'll talk more about crafting in the future. All right. We're also going to sell these items that we got from our quest because I don't like them. Good. So upping our reputation slowly is proving to be advantageous for at least items. It's good. How far is release? 2021. The end of 2021 is the full release. So, like, a lot of the stuff that I'm showing you is very work in progress. And a lot of the questions you may see in the chat, some of which have been asked a lot. And I think this is a really good thing because a lot of you guys have similar expectations to what you are expecting out of us. And frankly, we think that those expectations do need to be realized for the most part. But also know that we have a very strong overarching vision for what we are doing with the game too. So if we are making decisions that you don't like, for example, we don't just straight up think, oh man, the community's asking for this thing, we better not do it. Yeah, screw them. That's not how game dev works at all, okay? Like, every time we make a decision, it's having your interests in mind. And sometimes that means not putting something into the game. So, just a common game dev thing that we have to figure out. All right, so we completed both those jobs. That felt pretty good. We have been to basically all the locations here. What I want to do is start a ruckus with GMB because I think it's fun. So we're gonna go blow up some GMB. Show some of the weaponry we have using the devices, which will change our device as well. I'm a big fan of the Annihilator virus. It's pretty great. Will we have any more interstellar and planetary life forms to discover? That would be pretty dope, wouldn't it? The drone disassembler be returning? So there are a lot of different weapons, devices, consumables, ship types, abilities, all of those things from EVERSPACE in a completely blank area. Andy, Hans Christian? Was it you? But we do want to make sure that if you do get sidetracked and you want to kind of do your own missions, your own thing, that it's validated. Unlike that location I just went to. Wait, the stream dropped? What? 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 Are we back? I hope we're back. So I'm not stopping. I'm rolling with this thing. You missed 45 seconds. Can you recapitulate? Oh my gosh. I was just saying about areas that sometimes they can be a little bit lackluster, and we don't want that in the full game. We want to make sure that if you move away from your standardized direction, that you're rewarded for exploration, you're rewarded for diving into other areas, other realms. I'm going to check my stream health very briefly to ensure that we are okay. And it does look like we are. Thank you guys for enduring that hiccup. Legitimately not sure why we had it. But I'm glad we're back. All right. David Gear says, most AAA game companies do not listen to their customers. The smaller indie companies do. Thank you, Rockfish. Hey, you know what? We really appreciate that. Some indies are fantastic at listening. Some aren't so great. Some AAAs are really fantastic at listening too, and some really aren't that great. It's just it's such a big mix, right? And I think at Rockfish, like we really understand the importance of that style of communication through EVERSPACE 1. I mean, not to get into like the whole big story of it all, but long story short, EVERSPACE 1 would not exist without our community and without the support that you guys brought to the table. Like, we legitimately just wouldn't exist. So, it would be awful if we just were like, oh yeah, the community's saying stuff, we're not going to listen to them. We know what we're doing. No, that ain't us. So, yeah, I'm just glad that you guys are a strong part of this community. And you have a lot of feedback and you have a lot of questions. Like, every question, no matter how big or how silly it is, it's integral to the design and the development process of our game. So, seriously, thank you for being present. Let's see what we have in the store here. Nope. All these are the same jobs. I'm gonna have a firm talking to Andy. It's not his problem, by the way. Like, I'm not blaming anybody. We did get this fixed, and I don't know why it's broken now. Oh my gosh. But let's look at some other ships, just because we can. You can kind of see the comparison points here. We're getting a little bit of work done on these pop-ups so that you can tell what's going on. Right? But anytime you're cycling through your ships, at least in the current version, it's basically assigned a random combination of styles to the ship itself. Okay, so you're not really seeing too much variety as of yet, because you're only seeing medium ships here, and you're only seeing a certain tier of the ships here as well. So there's not a lot here. This variety of ships that you're going to be finding is going to be insane when we make further progress, and maybe even some announcements later. So yeah. Otherwise, we got 3 white ships, the white and the red. That's impressive. But we're gonna go ahead and keep ours. And let's see, what's on the docket? We're gonna destroy some GMB and see how they fare against our weaponry. Speaking of weaponry, this is fine. We'll use a scatter gun and a thermo gun. Fuzzy dice are a must. Yeah, no, we're very attentive to what people have been suggesting to deck out your cockpit. That's already has a lot of information in it. And I think I mentioned this. Yes, I mentioned this. So this bar, these bars right here too. Here, let me. These bars in the cockpit. These are also customizable. What? Yeah. You're gonna have a lot of different styles to choose from regarding your viewpoint alone from the ship. So customization plus customization plus customization on top of customization plus your perk customization and your item customization. Hey yo dog, I heard you like to customize, so I'll let you customize for your customization while you customize your customization. Whew. There's a lot. And there's a lot more to show too. So yeah. Alright, this GMB freighter, a lot of people are asking about like gravity and how that affects certain things. So just destroying the containers here, you'll see the items, they actually float in the sky. There are reasons for that design-wise. Not only for consistency of the game space, but also for quality of gameplay. But you will see that those containers that popped out of the ship, they're actually falling. They are falling, and they are going to land bonk right on the ground where we can go collect them later. We're still exploring more options pertaining to how gravitational pull could affect the gameplay. So all this stuff that I'm showing you right now, this is not final. Obviously, and if you think that, you're silly. But welcome to the stream. Getting destroyed as it's falling down to the planet, and then you see these little components. And I'm sure some people are thinking, wow, that looks kind of awkward. It's like really slowly moving. Yes, we're not done. But then you can go down here and you could blast these, grab some new equipments and whatnot if anything drops. Like ramen. We found some ramen in that one. Ooh! Let's give this guy some issues. Good, good. And this virus should pop in about 2 seconds, and he's just gonna explode. Nice. So some of your devices are gonna have lasting effects that can spread, like the Annihilator virus, and it does a pretty healthy amount of damage. More ramen. Oh my gosh, look at... Was that a ramen transport? Did we just violently destroy a food transport? And I suppose there are worse things, but I like ramen too. It's not too shabby. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and take this to the GMB facility after destroying the GMB materials. They should not have any problem with us because we haven't plugged in that code yet. Woo! Saved ourselves on that one. Alright, so. Like a nanovirus. Yeah, kind of like a nanovirus. Yeah. More ramen. You know, I will fully admit, I don't know if this matters or not, but I'm just gonna say it. We during the course of development, there was actually a station created that's just a ramen stall. Like, so you could land at the ramen stall and all it would sell is ramen. Yep, it's totally in the game as of right now. Maybe it'll stay. Maybe you'll get to see that fully realized and how it operates. I don't know. So yeah, somebody on the team really likes ramen is my thoughts. But we'll get there. We're having fun. Can we have a ramen gun? Okay, now wait a second. I like where your mind's at. I think with the design mentality overall, for all of Everspace, this also includes Everspace 1, is that we do, for the most part, want to have a pretty fairly serious approach towards the equipment, the customization, the things that you are establishing yourself with throughout the game. As an example of that, a lot of the modules that compose the player ships, they're designed in a way to make sure your ship doesn't just look like a hunk of garbage, right? Like, we're putting great care and a level of detail into each of these wings, each of these bodies, each of the engines, each of the cockpit designs, so that even if you just straight up randomize, it still looks pretty freaking good together. That said, we know some people want to customize a hunk of junk in space. I get it. That's probably going to be hard to pull off just with our attention to detail and maintaining that level of professionalism. Now, all of that said, we are pushing for having, legendary weapons and devices and effects and all that type of stuff. And I've seen some people come up with some really clever aesthetics that stem from those. Like, say, for an example, maybe a flat gun that shoots watermelons, and then you see an explosion of a watermelon whenever it hits your opponent. Just as an example, right? And I don't think it's too far out of the vision of what we're aiming for, but we also want to be very delicate in that approach so that it doesn't like completely straight up break the immersion factor that a lot of, especially space game enthusiasts, space simulation players really get out of these moments. So yeah, so by all means, throw those ideas out there and all the zany and all the silly things that we possibly could do. We are going to be very careful in the approach so that we are having fun, yet staying very functional to the gameplay experience. The Eric sound mod, for example. Oh God, why would you bring that up? All right. So let's go ahead and travel to Union and talk about these locations once again. This is a revisit to these locations for anybody who hasn't seen these. Union is the second system that you'll be traveling to. It's a little bit more of a hub area than Cedo is. Cedo is very much kind of on the outskirts down here, all by its lonesome, right? More populated by a lot of mining facilities and factions, scattered about outlaws who are trying to hide away from all of the other more important things that go on in the DMZ. Whereas Union, I mean, this is more of a hustling bub. It's not the biggest hub of the entire game, I will say that, but with 3 connecting points, there's a lot of interactions that are made between the unique factions of the game. There's a lot of opportunity with jobs and trade lanes, and you'll see a lot of that diversity as time comes. All right, so we are going to go to the Terminus Outer Rim here through the magic of dev cheats. Whoop! We are here. We also started in an asteroid. We were clipped inside of an asteroid. And now we are out of it. You can see the asteroids right there. And we're going to fly around a little bit. We are going to hide the minimap due to dev reasons. And we're just going to... We're also going to hide my silly webcam that seems to be floating since there's no UI. We're just going to let you soak in what this space looks like. So yeah, we're really enjoying how everything's coming together. It's pretty pleasant, I think. I hope. One of many locations that's being fleshed out in Union right now, with many more to come. So now we're also going to go over to this one as well, Selba 1. Just because we're pretty happy with the particle effects of how the clouds are coming together too. So you can see right here, we see those shadows. So there's absolutely something that's being cast throughout this space. We look around, asteroids over there, and there's a station off in the distance. And these clouds, using volumetric lighting effects and I forgot the other term that I was supposed to memorize for the stream. They are there. They are actually there. So you can actually fly into these clouds, but there are pathways through the clouds so that you don't lose your vision, for example, and discover other interesting, iconic scenes and locations, and maybe even creatures as you're traveling through these areas. See if we can find one of the big stations. Woo! See these ports, this is where a lot of goods are dropped off. These are little pods that actually come out of a larger vessel. And they're being scanned right now to ensure that the products are properly categorized before those shipments are sent off further. You'll see that we have some of these GMB vessels coming through right here. But you'll also see, maybe we have them over here. Where are they at? Nope, this is just a storage bay. Maybe I'm in an unlucky location. But there's also larger carrying containers, which you guys have seen before, that those little pods come off of. These little pods right here are actually contained on top of these very large freelance cargo carriers that bring it all into space. Like right here! Aha! We found it. So we're just going to kind of get up a little bit close and personal here. And we're going to show you these little pods. You can see them. There's a bunch of them on the posterior of this vessel. And these are very massive ships. Just look at our tiny little ship back there. Our tiny, cute little guy. These things are not messing around, and they hold a lot of stuff. In comparison even to the GMB transports. So you can very well see that there's a lot going on in this sector. There's a lot of trading and probably also a lot of jobs to have as well through all of this. Man, even those engines make me look tiny. Goodness gravy. Them's big engines. Whoop. I was trying something and I got yoinked. All right. Yeah, again, we're really happy with how the environmental effects are coming along. And this is just a taste. This is just a taste of what's to come. This is only a sliver of what you can see in Union, as well as the rest of all of these different locations you'll be traveling to. Absolutely a ton. Absolutely a ton. So we want to make sure that the locations you travel to, especially because they're handcrafted, we want them to be very distinguished from one another. So when you see this, you absolutely know that you are in Union. Oh, I don't think we can fight those guys. Whoop, up, up, up. We're just gonna go the other way. But yeah, so it's important. It's very much like the realization that we made, or rather the realization, how we realized the different sectors in EVERSPACE 1, where you kind of could like identify with where you were at and what you were doing through that process as well, right? So like if you were in Sector 1, everything was very light, whimsical, black and blue sort of colorations, whereas if you were in the Sector 6, deep into the run, it was a rich purple color, which told you like things are serious here. And there's that distinction of how far you've made it in those particular roguelike runs that we want to carry over through these locations on the map. So not only distinguished by the color of the star, but also by the environments, also by the factions, also by the station types and jobs, and the regions themselves and how different factions are interacting with one another. Like all of those are going to be playing a part into how you know where you're at and what you are capable of doing. So I've missed a lot of questions. I'm going to go ahead and sneak in a couple right now. So first we're going to start on YouTube, and then I'm going to come over to Twitch, and I'm doing that because I see a lot of helpful individuals on Twitch right now answering questions, so thanks for that. Really love this community and your support. It helps make our job easier just with how attentive you are and you know the answers to these questions, so that's awesome. So Salty asks, how demanding will the game be? Would I need to use an AMD Threadripper Dual 2080 Titans on max graphics? That would be overkill. I can confirm that would be overkill. That being said, I can't confirm much because we're still a year out. A lot of things can change in a year. We are hoping to optimize this bad boy to a playable state, even for computers that are potatoes, effectively, on the lowest graphics settings, of course. But we also want to make sure that if you do have a beefy computer, that you're going to get results. So we're trying to find a really nice blend of quality performance and outstanding graphics for you to enjoy when we do hit that release. As such, I know that's a bit of a non-answer for you, and it's one of the things and just where we're at right now, but we will have more definitive responses pertaining to what you could expect out of your performance based on your system specs as we get into early access at the end of this year. We'll really be able to dive into that. In fact, we're hopeful that a lot of the feedback we get, we'll start being able to refine for certain graphics cards and certain systems to make that a better experience for all. So, really good question. Will be implemented ray tracing in this game, so you'll be targeting PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X graphics enhancements. So if right now we are coming out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, if we do move into like PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, stuff like that, we will make according announcements because we have to lock down what that looks like, but we'll also keep you in the know, okay? So know that first. Second, we have made the announcement that we are looking into ray tracing. Gosh dang, is this guy just on this stream just to mention a bunch of non-answers? Is that how he works? Hey, man, we still have so much more development ahead of us. And it sucks in a way because we don't have a lot of hard answers to these really intricate questions, truly. But at the same time, we're able to show you a ton of stuff that we're doing really early. Like, holy crap. Oh my gosh, like the seeing Union in this space right now, like this is, I mean, yeah. So we're happy we're able to present this to you, and we want to make sure that we're getting the best visual experience possible if we can achieve that without requiring a supercomputer from the depths of NASA, you know. So we'll see what we can come up with, and we will work through it, especially as we go through the early access phase at the end of this year. Is the handling that swift, or is that the dev advantage? So right now, I think I actually have a couple items that give me a little bit more handling. Yeah, so my cargo unit adds handling, my boosters add handling. Do I have anything else that adds handling? I don't think I do. So I have both of these that increase my handling, which are right below my body, actually, right here. Boop, boop, boop. 664 handling. And this is gonna be distinguished not only by your equipment, but also your subclass and also your class. We're flying a medium ship, and medium ships have an overall middle ground range of handling, of all types of maneuverability. So yeah, that's what you're seeing here. I usually get a little bit more handling in my builds because I like that style of control. More importantly, however, I like flying light ships. And we can't quite show light ships yet because they're not done. You just see a bunch of silly blockouts, and I'm sure people would be like, yes, show us the silly blockouts, but that's not how it works. Sorry, I'm just gonna stop you right there. But I do want to let you guys know that we have been working on the playable ships to make them actually playable. So that might be in an update soonerish than laterish. Really bold words for me to say soonerish. I recognize that. But we know that that's a desire that you guys have, and so we're working on it. So lots of different parts and pieces that we're bringing together as a whole. But once those are ready, we will show you. All right. So let's go ahead and head back to the playable space instead of me hiding everything. And we can do some more missions. Maybe we can destroy some stuff. That's always fun, destroying things. So we're going to head straight back to Nefty's Plains. And let's take a tour into some mines over here. We really want to make sure that the ground locations are interesting for the player, so that it's not just, oh, you have a ground and then that we might do this gravity thing or not, or depending on what's going on, we'll change what that looks like, of course. But we also wanted to have meaningful, important areas to explore that you'd only find on a planet like this. So you can fly to the inside of the planet and see mining results, maybe have a mission or two that you can only get while you're in the underbelly of a planet. Maybe there's more to discover that isn't quite prepared yet for our development build. But we're having a lot of fun bringing this all together, and we want to make sure that you are able to do a lot in these handcrafted locations. And the more you explore, the more you discover, the more you're rewarded for that. Especially because it's not procedurally generated. Like, it's very intentional that mine was put right there. It's very intentional that these building blocks of the GMB facility are put right here. It's very intentional that there's a crater right there and there's a lot of space that you can actually explore over here. It's very intentional how everything is laid out. And that's going to be even more important in the future of our reveal streams and in your gameplay playthroughs and all that type of stuff. If you put the time in to go search out and find why the layouts are designed the way they are, you might come across some really valuable secrets. And that's actually going to loop directly into the itemization in some regard. As you've seen here many, many times, I'm sure, you know, you have a different rarities of your equipment. It's going to be possible to find unique items at unique locations as well. So if you do end up memorizing level layouts and stuff, you know that you can get that level 5 plasma blaster at that one asteroid corner if you do that mission, right? So there will be a couple of those styled missions that give you very specific rewards, while there's also going to be a heck of a lot of randomization and what you can find and what you can do. I always like this crystal cave. Oh, they closed. I'm probably not going to fly out until that opens up again. Because I don't want to die. Everything's fine. Thanks. Woo, okay. Perfect. Go to the planet core. Can't quite reach it yet. We're a little far out from there. All right, let's get some more questions in here, just to make sure we're getting through them. Can't help but notice Kodo has no hyperspace lane. Indeed, you are correct. There are no warp gates connecting to Kodo. I don't know why that is. That seems strange. How could you ever get out there? Oh my goodness. because there's only one means of travel in the entire game, it's kind of silly to have created that, huh? Yep. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and remove it. That's fine. Steam demo updates. There was a light update to it just to add a couple little things that were popular requests, but there are 0 plans to update it. 0 plans to the prototype or the alpha build. The alpha will be updated once the beta hits in September, but otherwise the prototype, the demo, it is going to be a standard sliver of what EVERSPACE 2 will be built out to be. Will there be any sort of VR support for this game? We have mentioned this. Basically, if we go VR support, that's not a guarantee. It'll be a separate game, a separate application. So you'd either buy EVERSPACE 2 or EVERSPACE 2 VR. There's a lot of reasons behind it, but basically it's to make sure we can dedicate all of our time, resources, attention to that VR aspect to ensure it's the best it can possibly be. This feedback directly stems from the VR community through our EVERSPACE 1 learning experience of bringing that to VR. So again, I want to make sure what I'm saying right nice here and clean and simple is that I am not confirming VR. I'm saying that it's not likely, but if we do, it'll be that separate application. Tell me about scanning. Can't. It's not ready. It's not ready yet. Oh, we got corroded. That stinks. But we are gonna do many nasty things to this guy. We're just gonna watch him spin out of control. Ow! This is a new enemy type. This is a Viper. They actually have closed wings until they get up close and personal. And then they try to wreck your face. So we're waiting for our devices to leave cooldown, and then I'm gonna have some fun with this. Now, the way that this works may very well be changed, but I am going to be able to change this right now on the fly. And we're going to use this magnetic repulsor instead. And we're just going to say, go get wrecked. Shoving them into the planet itself. We have another cave that we could go into over here. We'll go ahead and stay out here, though. But we really want to make sure that we have a lot of opportunities to address similar situations in unique ways. So if that means you want to throw characters into one another or smash them into asteroids, we want to have that option. If that means you want to pick up debris and use that as a shield and just ram into somebody using that debris in front of you, that's an option. That means you want to be a complete debilitating force and disable your foes and watch them melt as you just sit there and cackle like a violent, vile person. You can do that. Oh my gosh, we're actually doing that. But yeah, you can do an assortment of different things and address situations the way that you want. And then of course you also have a lot of variety in the weapon types that you can gather throughout the game as well. Like this coil gun. We're actually gonna use this coil gun. It's a nice one. Pew 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 pew. Will there be different sticky turrets, i.e. laser, missile, flak? So yeah, I mean, a lot of what you see here, this is just like you're seeing a lot of the foundation of what is to come pertaining to items, consumables, modules. There's a lot more that's going to be coming to diversify how these are utilized and how these affect your playstyles. Even like when we're talking about these modifiers that are on, like say this executioner, why do I say executor? It's a scatter gun. It's made by Baron Industries. It's called the Executioner. Has a 10% chance to regenerate 20% of whole hit points with each kill. Cannot be damaged. 20% increased damage if your ship is exposed to sunlight. So you can see very directly that you have certain advantages over other ones. You have certain play styles that you may particularly choose over others simply by using this item. That's going to be combined with assortment of other tools that you are using. Like I talked about earlier, I like having a lot of handling. So both my cargo unit and my boosters increase my handling. And then consumables, we want to make sure that your consumables are valuable to you, especially because they're one-time use. And you know, if a sticky turret only does one thing, yeah, okay, I could kind of be a little bit boring. We could possibly add a bit of variety to that. Same things with the nanobots, same things with the energy injectors, same thing with the damage boosters, same thing with all of these different things. And you're seeing the groundwork laid down from this build. So, long story short, there's a lot more to come, and I hope you're excited, because I'm excited to be able to talk more about those things when they have been realized. I also like this question. Irini, I think is the username. Will we have weather effects in planets like rain, storms, wind, which is affecting flying, snow, nebulas? I'm assuming like other things pertaining to that nature. I think that sounds really cool. I think that sounds really awesome. It also sounds challenging to a degree, but we'll have to see what we can do performance-wise for the computers that are utilizing the game, because we want to make sure that if you have some sort of environmental effect that's befallen you, we want to make sure it's still a game first and foremost, right? We want you to be able to have fun with that. We want it to add that level of immersion instead of it just destroy everything, right? So like a lot of the places we've shown, in fact, the two different locations are on the same planet, which is more of a desert planet. Maybe there could be like a sandstorm, for an example, that could whip up visibility issues, stuff like that. But only if it adds to the game experience, right? Look, what is this driver doing? What in the world? Anyway, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure it's both fun and functional. If it adds a layer of depth, but it's not fun, we're going to question that. In fact, we already kind of showed some of that stuff off with these items that are floating in place. This was done because of our own experiences, the team's own experiences, and flying around in combat above a planet, and then having to fly all the way down to collect all your stuff. It was kind of a hassle, actually. And so what we're trying to distinguish is what is fun versus what is functional, and also, you know, of course, what makes sense to the human eye, because there has to be some level of realism, otherwise you can't believe it and you lose that sense of immersion. There's a lot of things to like we have to cover throughout this development that it makes some of these questions really hard, but at the end of it all, just know very much that we are strongly considering a lot of aspects that you guys have brought to the table through your recommendations, through your observations of even just watching the streams. And we're excited to open up into beta in September to get even more of that feedback, and then especially in early access where it's going to go absolutely crazy and we'll all lose our minds, and it will be glorious. So it'll be great. Is the beta open, or do I have to wait for early access? Take my money. Well, please hold on to your money, because beta is in fact going to be closed. I know. But yeah, I mean, we designed this out. Also know this, like the alpha and the beta, these are really early opportunities for people to dive in, supply valuable feedback, especially regarding their system specs. These are dedicated diehards that are looking out for us, looking out for you, the community, right? And so it's all coming together pretty well. We've gotten a lot of solid feedback at this point in time. When early access opens, we still have a year's worth of development through our dev cycle, okay? So just understand that. Like, you are seeing very early components of the game, even right now. Like, even right now, a lot of people are like, oh, this game looks like it's almost done. Just send it out. I want it. I'll pay you money. Like, that's, whoa. Like, no, it's not done. There's so much more that we have to do. And I'm excited to be a part of this with you as you journey through it with me. It's going to be lots of fun. Lots of fun. So hold on. We'll get there. There's a lot of stuff to talk about still in our planning phases, and then early access into this year. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure of it. Damn interns. Oh my gosh. Please increase the fire rate of the opened Viper. It's kind of underwhelming. Well, honestly, everything that's in this game is completely done, fully working as intended. We are not planning on changing any of that, so I'm sorry. Yeah, we will continue to balance accordingly. Don't you worry about that. If you slam the ship in the sand on the ground, will it leave traces? No, it won't. It's just a thing. That would be pretty cool. But no, it doesn't. It'd be even cooler if like you could skim into the sand and then you're just like in a puff of it. But no, there's none of that. That level of detail would be amazing. And I'm pretty sure that Marco just cringed hard hearing all of this. But it could be cool. All right. Couple more questions. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. And of course, I'm missing some of you. Just know that if I do miss your questions, it's not because we're ignoring you, Ghost. Okay? It's because I said Ghost. No, you're 8. Your name is 8. I called you Ghost because you changed your Discord username. Dang it. That was not planned. Anyway, but no, if we do miss any of your questions, I highly encourage you to head over to our Discord. Seriously, like, it's a place where you can get your questions answered, hang out with all of us. Do make some suggestions on there, but note that that's not the main area for suggestions. The main point of suggestions is actually using the forums. Why would we use forums? That seems so outdated. Who in the world uses forums anymore? I'll tell you who. Developers who want to keep track of all the suggestions that have been made in a nice, organized fashion to know who is talking about what and tracking those threads. That's who uses forums, and we are using it to great effect. So please continue offering up your ideas and suggestions using those forums, and we will continue properly implementing those things that you are supplying or giving you responses as to why we are not moving in those directions. It's a really easy format. It keeps everything nice, concise, and consolidated. Otherwise, if you do want to go ham with conversation, ask us questions about our personal lives, please don't do that too much. You can really have a lot of fun, even showing off like your fan art, other materials like that. All of that is in the Discord, and we really do have a lot of fun in there. Sometimes we get really silly, but it's a good day. It's a good day. All right. Oh, and that's also the place where we connect to giveaways as well. So if you were a previous winner of the alpha, for example, you had to have been a part of the Discord. So just keep that in mind as well. If you are looking to get a little bit of extra love with the EVERSPACE giveaways, definitely a place to go. All right, perfect. Nice. Maybe add some particle effects. Yeah, the game's completely done. It's funny because that comes from the same Excelsior. I love you, sir. Don't change. What is this, SnowRunner? You know, now that you said that, oh my gosh, goodness gravy. This game's clearly a rip off of the Battle of Hoth. Even the ship design, you can tell these devs don't come up with anything original. Oh my gosh. Thanks for being a part of the stream. I promise, it's not a stream where I just make fun of everybody who joins the chat. I love you guys. I wouldn't make fun of you if I didn't love you. Look at all those X-Wings! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Perfect segue to go back to the... Wait, is the ship over here the one that looks like it? No, it's not. Look at that, guys! Oh, what a ripoff! Okay, I'm done. Okay, alright, we're gonna... Let's talk about some more stuff, answer some more questions. Gosh. Truth be told, if we weren't inspired by some noteworthy franchises, I think we'd be doing it wrong. Right? 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 Like, let's be real. All right, we're gonna go over to the bowl. Freelancer, I see stated. Yes. Yes, verily. I say to thee. Now, did I properly prepare the stream here? That's the question. Sometimes I do a great job, and sometimes I'm a terrible human being, and then I have to pause and talk about the Discord for an elaborate amount of time. I think I did it wrong again. Oh my gosh, guys. But no, check this out. For those of you who haven't seen this, we have a nice decked out scrapyard of just a garbage planet, right? You just come here and you drop off your junk. And you can find a lot of stuff here, actually, if you explore. Including some hidden devices as well. There's also some interior spaces that you have to be careful about navigating. In fact, I think one's right over here. We'll fly through it just so you can kind of see a bit of it. And we'll also do it in first-person view because it's hot! Ugh! Oh, I can't actually fly into it. Because we completed it. Well, that's savage. What a tease. I'm going to show you this thing. Wait, I can't. Maybe it's open over here? Maybe? Maybe? Nope! Get wrecked, Eric! Dang it. Alright. Fine. We'll show that later. But otherwise, yes, there are a lot of little hidden secrets and nuances to each of these locations. Again, because handcrafted, putting a lot of emphasis on that. So you're not just getting a random assortment of stuff that's been magically added to the game. It was purposefully placed for your particular enjoyment. Let's go to the scrapyard, see what's going on. Woo! Should I head over to Discord to find out if there are build updates coming or released to alpha backers? So Major Mazur, we did make an official announcement about this a couple weeks ago. Basically, we are not going to push any updates to the alpha. The next update is going to be when the beta drops in September. There's a lot of reasons for this. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about it. So I just want to be very clear in this regard. Basically, it's going to be time-consuming for us to go through and navigate the game settings, the game files, the game development as a whole, to prepare it for you guys on a weekly or even a daily basis. Daily, crazy, but like even on a weekly basis. And instead, we want to focus all of our time and attention to these multiple projects that we have going on behind the scenes to get all of those big packages ready for you at an earlier state. So while it's hard to say that because it means you have to wait, you should also take a lot of goodness from this, knowing that we're going to get you more content sooner after that waiting process. So when the beta releases, it's going to be a smaller package than I think what a lot of people are expecting it to be. But when the early access drops, I want to put a lot of emphasis here. When the early access drops, and we open the doors for a lot of people to dive in, there's going to be a lot of new showcases, a lot of new content through the course of that development cycle, through early access. And it's going to be, I'm excited. It's going to be big. I think that I have to leave it at that. It's going to be big. So, yes, that's kind of the thing. Also, we just found a bug, and it's kind of awesome. I drove in here kind of sideways, and look at our engines. That's kind of fun. That's not how engines work! You are correct. Nice. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what's in this shop. Nothing that's going to help our perks. Dang it. But let's go ahead and just sell some of the stuff that we're probably not going to use, and we can't craft yet because that hasn't been implemented yet. We'll hang on to these things. Another sticky turret's always great. Beautiful. All right. Woo! Will there be outlaw missions for criminally minded? That would be pretty dope, wouldn't it? Should I have... Blah, 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 blah. We have no grappling hook. Do we not? So we do have a grappling hook. Let's go to a space where we can show that off a little bit. Because I know a lot of people have seen it. A lot of people haven't seen it. It's a good talking point. So let's go to a space that I think is going to be fairly ripe with those opportunities, I hope. We've changed it around a little bit. I think there's some spots still left over here. Do instances repopulate with loot after a time? Yeah, so we are using a couple different measures of difficulty in order to do just that. One of those measures is to increase the challenge of locations that you have previously ventured to. So for example, whenever you're done with Cedo and you travel to Union, Cedo basically levels up behind you. So when you return, it's not going to have garbage stuff. Instead, it will still have valuable stuff that's still weaker than you. And that will do that through the entire course of the game. So when you get to the end game and you're level 1,000 billion, Cedo is going to be level 500, you know, as a comparison point. So it's still going to be weaker, but it will have more meaningful things for you to go back and do, go back and see, etc. Good question. We have gravity on planets. How about parachute for safe landing if our engine fails and call for helps? That is a level of immersion that you can expect from other noteworthy games that will take forever to release, but probably not from EVERSPACE 2. EVERSPACE 2, your ship is you, by the way. That is like everything that you're customizing, everything that you're doing, everything that you're developing is really ultimately for your ship. So think of this as your player character itself, right? And so through that process, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for us to put emphasis on like having a parachute for your character to fall out. Now, if you're talking about like a parachute for the ship itself, like your engines get destroyed somehow, man, that's such a niche moment in the game where your engines go out planet side. That could be a really interesting hazard to have to deal with, though. I want to see that concept fleshed out further. I want somebody to post about this on the forums, an idea about damaged engines planet side to where gravity affects you. Because I think there's something there that could be really fun. But we need to have a conversation about it. So somebody make it happen. Make it happen. Because I like it. Oh my gosh, Zunde. Nice. That's funny. Okay, so I want to try and find some stuff to grab and toss around. So like this mine, for example, almost blew up in our face. Nay, I say to thee! Instead, I will throw it over here, and it will explode where I deem it will. Grapple mechanics are a lot of fun. We've been exploring how this can serve useful for the player. I want to find some debris, hopefully, that we can grab. Not that asteroid. Energy sockets that are emptied, we'd need to take certain things to it. I'm not seeing a whole lot of grappleables, unfortunately. I was thinking there would be more in this area, but I might have been wrong. We also cleaned up a lot of the areas, so even some of the stuff that you're seeing has been changed. But what we can do is we can use this energy core mechanic for rewarding some types of exploration. So like, for example, we have this energy sphere dispenser, and we're going to take it to that energy socket that we found inside, right over there. That energy socket, we're going to try and build this energy core out, and then our goal in 36 seconds is to get it inside and get that activated. So let's see if we can make it. I think we can. Because if we can pop it open, we might have some goods that we can see. Here we go. Yeah. Nice and simple, actually. So for bringing that energy core, we're rewarded with nothing! Ladies and gentlemen, Sometimes it feels great being game dev. Oh my gosh. We hope that you're excited to be rewarded for, or not being rewarded for doing things. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm trying to find some debris. I would like to show you some debris to grapple. This? Nope. No, that's not gonna grapple. But it's a good thing we have some nice shields. Grapple, grapple, grapple? Grapples? Yes, no, maybe? No, no, nope. Maybe I'm thinking of a different location, but I digress. Maybe I can find a location that we can have some fun grappling with things. I know that there's a shipwreck that we can grapple onto some items. So we'll go that direction. I think we cleaned up this area a little too much. Normally you would have debris in the way of some of these structures, and you would be able to just grab onto them. And by grabbing on, you'd then be able to use them as a shield in combat. You could throw them at your opponents. You could do a number of things with it just by using the physics of the game itself. So yeah. We are ship, that's right. But a lot of customization to the ship, like a ton, right? Would be cool if we could grapple EMP affected ships and fling them into stuff. Kix, I love that concept. I love it. In fact, one of the things that we are playing around with currently is being able to grapple drones that are nearby and just yeeting them out of the way. Okay, so let's see. Where's my debris? I need my desbres. I think I saw some. Here we go. Yeah, so right here, this is kind of a wonky example, but like, for this section of space, we are gonna pull this debris out of the way, right? And now we can fire at a generator that is normally right there. But you can only do that by grabbing this debris and throwing it around. Now, where did that debris go? It floated around further. It's gone forever. But you could also use this as like a little shield in combat if you wanted to. And you could get really violent with it too and go up to another foe and then just launch this directly at them. You know, just boom! And just pwn them, do some physics-based damage to them. Woo! And we hope to see some creative ways how you can deal with situations using those physics. Just because it's fun. It's just fun. It's just fun. They can add some kind of cable from sides or back for hard turns. It can be funny. Yeah, so cables would be a really cool thing as well. Being able to manipulate cables. As of right now, I don't believe there are any rope physics in the game. I think they're just for looks. So if we were to find one of those cables, which I'm sure there's plenty of here, that I don't see immediately. They're not going to do anything. They're basically just static objects. But we can use a couple other things and have fun with them. Toss them around, see them bang around. So we are working with a lot of physics-based things. And there's a lot more to come, of course. You know. You know the drill. Work in progress, early access, blah, blah, blah. Neat! Let's see where else we can venture towards. Oh, the ulcer's always pleasant. Doesn't seem pleasant, does it? Just Cause in space? I think there's I think there's some room to have that discussion. Will there be items affecting the grapple, like velocity and speed, or flung items, or amount of items you can grab? We will have more information about that at a later point in time. Oh my gosh. I know! But let me just say this, like, there's only 2 perks that we've met, or only 2 companions that we've met thus far. I'm pretty sure that there's more than 2 companions. And I'm pretty sure that their abilities that they're going to provide could help a number of different systems that you have on your ship. I mean, this is just the tractor beam alone. Just the tractor beam, a basic element of your ship that just generally makes it better. And the grapple is another one of those basic components of your ship. So it'll definitely be something that we will very likely discuss later. Let's go ahead and fly around the ulcer here. See what we can pick up for resources as we keep answering questions. Can you self-destruct? No! Well, I can using dev cheats, but no. Normal gameplay, you would have to basically ram yourself into walls and stuff. Let's go ahead and shop. Hey, more iron! That's what we're looking for. That iron allows us to go even further into our repairs. So we're going to devote all of that to the cause. Otherwise, we're going to sell some of these items. It's a lot of copper. It's pretty nice. We'll also see what's at the other location, too. Bailout mechanic win. Oh my gosh. You silly. Alright. Another point to talk about, which hasn't been implemented yet, but is definitely on the table, and when I say on the table, I mean it's actually off the table because it will be implemented, is that we are looking at trade lanes. We are looking at different qualities of stations that will put emphasis on certain resources versus others. So for example, where we're at right now, it's probably going to sell more ores than other things because it's a mining site, right? It's the GMB main station settled out here in the Cedo system. And as such, when you sell ores to them, it's not going to sell very well. There's not going to be a popular item for them to receive because that's not really what they're looking for because they have all these mining operations. But if you were to sell them more exquisite items that maybe can't be found in Cedo, that you found in Union, for example, they would fetch a bit more of a price point from this station. And that's going to change depending on where you go, what faction ownership has those stations, other little details like that. But that's very much a process that's being worked on for a later point in time. But we want to make sure that if you want to do that sort of trading style of gameplay, it's going to be available to you, right? Like, we want you to be rewarded for finding those ore sites that you can capitalize on, or selling really well and getting high profits, or extracting the goods from trade lanes. And while you can't really see anything done yet here, they're very much going to be clear on the map. You're going to know what factions are involved. You're going to know how you can kind of go about your interactions through the tools that you have. And it should provide just a few more different ways for you to experience the game world and what it has to offer from the way that you wish to play it. Yeah. And also mining minigames. That'll come later. Let's do a race. I like this race. I'm bad at it. All right. Here we go. This is just a friendly little challenge in the game just to see and test your maneuverability. Oh my gosh, I'm so talented, guys. I'm sure you're all jealous of my abilities right now. Nailed it like a glove. But there are a lot of little racetracks currently in the alpha. Maybe they'll stay, maybe they'll grow into something more. We do have a lot of plans for them. We don't want them to just be like silly little things, right? We do want to add a little bit more meaning to them, so if you do take the time and get better at them, you will be appropriately rewarded. Perfect. Jindo asks, will there be a full story or it won't matter much and it's all sandbox? So there will be a story. The story mode itself will give you about 20 to 30 hours of a campaign to push yourself through in the game. And it will kind of open up new opportunities and possibilities for you through that story as well. And the more that you get unlocked, the more you're able to wander about in that, as you described, sandboxy way. We prefer the term open world a bit more than sandbox. In a lot of cases, I know that sandbox usually in an open world, but I digress. We want to make sure that you have a lot of opportunities to do what you want, but there's still a challenge rating involved with those things. Sandbox can make it feel like you can literally do whatever you want. And I think it's a bit of a bold statement for the overarching goals and the overarching vision that we have for EVERSPACE 2, even though we do want you to have the flexibility to customize yourself, to take on the jobs you want, to go exploring to your leisure and stuff like that. In that capacity, yes, very much a sandbox, but it's not a sandbox where you can literally spawn in hundreds of enemies at certain points and just like go ham between massive space battles and you know, it's not that style of sandboxy. We need a sandbox mode, oh my gosh. Saw that coming. Let's take out some GMB, because they're just floating around. Question for Dubs. Awesome. How deep is the gameplay content besides the main story campaign? I think that's I think that's incredibly subjective of a question. I think it would be really hard for me to answer that question. So instead of answering how deep the gameplay content is besides the main story campaign, what I will say is we are preparing a lot of content so that the player has different means to an end of their particular play styles. So if you like trading, we're going to have those options. If you like taking on jobs, you'll have those options. If you like bounty hunting, you'll have those options. If you like absolutely crushing specific factions, you'll have those options. If you want to grow your influence, you'll have that option. If you want to be a freelancer who basically is buddy with everybody, you have that option. If you want to get seriously crazy with your ship and just terrify everybody, you have that option. Like we want to bridge it out to where you play the way you want, and then the game rewards you or reprimands you accordingly, without it being so crazy deep that it takes you 10 hours to do research on how to play the game before you play the game. Does that make sense? So we're going for accessibility and a focus on action-oriented combat with a lot of opportunities surrounding an open world RPG environment. Woo! Oh. Woo! The 30-hour campaign, is it fully voiced? Well, it's not yet. Obviously. But no, the plan is, and no, I shouldn't even say the plan. We will have it fully voiced in both English and German. German is our native language, and when I say our, I'm specifically referring to Rockfish Games because I'm American and I only speak one language. It's embarrassing. Otherwise, yes, that's the direction we are taking, and we are localizing, and we'll have an assortment of other languages that you can choose for on-screen prompts and text so that you can play it no matter what. You'll just be able to choose between German and English voice work, however. All right. Did not get notice about this live stream. Darn YouTube, I know, right? How dare they? Goodness gravy. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But, Jay Baldwin, I'm glad you're able to show up in these last 10 minutes. We are kind of in that phase of just answering questions, so if you do have any, by all means, shoot them out, pew pew, and I will do what I can. In the meantime, we're gonna go back to a nice cloudy location in Cockpit view so that you can see some of the progress that we've made, and having it just feel good. Just that nice general feel-goodsies. Go through the clouds. Wow! Wow! Okay, here we are. Enemies! You guys aren't allowed to see the enemies here. I have to be careful. I'm walking a fine line for this stream. I know everyone's like, where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Hey, hold on. Hold your horses there, Tiger, Sport, Skipper. Just gonna, you know, casually cruise back to the location they were probably at and hopefully not encounter them. There's a station over there. Yay! Station. That's where we want to go. Oh, there was that question about the ropes and being, like this cable, for example, it's floating through space. If we bonk into this, it doesn't move. But that's not to say that we won't add new physics to the game where something like that could move. As of right now, a lot of what we are accomplishing with these styles is to make them look very unique from one another, right? We want to make sure that you're not just seeing the same thing over and over and over again. Sometimes that can get really drab, really boring. And we're spending a lot of time doing just that, distinguishing. So, yeah. Will there be an option for the Klingon language? We don't have the rights to that. Would probably get sued. So the answer is probably. No. I'm gonna give that a hard no. You know. You can never have enough lightning in your life. When my house was hit by lightning a couple weeks ago, I would argue that you can have too much lightning, and one strike is all it takes to be really pissed off. All right. And yes, my house really did get struck by lightning. There's a really big story there, but don't worry about it. Just know that everything's okay. Well, it's gonna be as soon as everything kicks in and is satisfied. Anyway! Salty streamer is salting. We need to talk about EVERSPACE too. Let's answer some more questions. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we only have a couple more minutes. I see that too soon. Yeah, somebody understands. Thanks, Barber. I appreciate that. Imagine some space whales trying eating you when you entered in setting clouds. That would be pretty dope, wouldn't it? Alright, we are going to continue cruising around. Maybe we can find some more... Wait, this pathway looks strange. We're gonna go this way. I know we went this way already, but I see ships. There's supposed to be a big station somewhere. I think it's this direction. Oh, hello there. That's the warp gate, okay. So it's this direction. Okay. Reoriented myself. Alright. I think this is new music that you guys haven't heard yet, by the way. Whoa, that's a boulder. Woo! We are in the thick of the clouds right here. Oh my gosh. All right, much better. Now we can see. That was close. Whew. Grindle asks, beta when? September. September for the beta. Does the lightning strike twice in EVERSPACE? Technically, yes. Can the lightning strike the ship, or are those just cosmetic? We will talk more about environmental effects and how they can affect the player in a future, future stream, future update, future blog, vlog, all those things. Grindle asks September when? Oh my god. I hope there's a lot to do here in the final game because I want to live here. Union is a central hub. Not the central hub, don't get me wrong. But there is going to be a lot of stuff that happens in Union that will affect a lot of factions, affect a lot of interactions of the game. So I think that you could find a healthy amount of time in Union in the full game, honestly. With what we're building out, yeah, I think so. Imagine flying into a cloud, hitting a rock. Yes, that can happen, but thankfully the boosters on the ship, this was something we implemented like right out of the gate. If you are aimed at something like a physical object, let me just show you, and you activate your boosters, the boosters turn off for you because it's like, hey, idiot, you're gonna hit something, and it does it for you. So try as you might, but the ship systems will be like, nope, not allowing that. Not allowing that. I say that, and you can energize boosts. Oh my goodness. This is a fun little space to go. I love this rock. This is my rock. This is my rock. It is my home. And it has my turrets. Jeffrey and Bob. Everyone will stay off of my rock. Can you guys just do Freelancer 2 and get it over with? Oh my gosh. What a bold request. No, I think we're going to put work into EVERSPACE 2. We're drawing a lot of inspiration from Freelancer, of course, though. So, you know, if you are a big fan of Freelancer, much like us, I think that you might be able to find a lot of opportunity here. I also do want to put emphasis on how this is not Freelancer 2, okay? This is EVERSPACE 2, very distinctly apart from Freelancer. We have our own vision of how we want to wrap all of this stuff up and bring it to fruition. Yes, we have taken a lot of inspiration from Freelancer. This is true. Absolutely. But we are doing it in unique ways that we feel in some cases are better than what Freelancer had, mixed with a lot of other components from games that we shared and loved when we were kids. And, you know, a lot of that comes from games like Descent or Privateer. It comes from, you know, you could even bridge out and say like Ace Combat or TIE Fighter or the original Elite. Goodness gracious, you go on forever. There's a lot of games that we've really pulled inspiration from and how we are designing our way forward that we don't think has really been done before. And we're not sure why it hasn't, because we are absolutely loving the heck out of this. And that's the direction that we're taking these in. So please, I really want you guys to understand, like, if you are looking for a Freelancer 2, I mean, that's so, this is such a hard conversation, right? Because it's like, yes, we've pulled that influence, but that's not what we are. We are EVERSPACE 2 after Everspace 1 with our own defined world, with very specific missions that we want to grow your character through and give you opportunities, unique ones, that allow you to customize yourself in a capacity that simply hasn't been done in any other space game, any sci-fi experience. And that's what our goal is. So I really want to just lay that out there. Again, we appreciate the love and the support, and if you are big Freelancer fans, we love that you are loving this, but we are Everspace too, and nothing's going to change that. Bloodstar, oh my gosh. We're an evolution from that series as well, Bloodstar. Please keep it up. Everspace 2 approach is better in combat. Hey, you know what? We are very happy with how things have been coming together. We also know that there's still a lot more that needs to be worked on, and through your support and your feedback, I know that we will reach greatness. So hey guys, it is that time where I'm going to answer like one more question. And then we will go from there to the Discord, where you can continue asking questions in the AMA and also prepare yourself for upcoming giveaways and all that type of stuff. So thank you so much for coming out to the stream, for seeing a little bit more updates to the UI here, checking out the cockpit view in those beautiful, sweet, sexy clouds. Oh, my rock, don't touch. But seriously, it's been an absolute blast serving you guys, listening to what you have to say, asking your questions. It's wonderful, and I really hope that you keep coming back to these Friday streams so we can continue those conversations, also in the Discord, of course, where we will continue to give you little insights as to what we've been working on, where things are going, give you some of our design philosophy, all of those tidbits, as we will also be making those continual little reveals, and maybe even big ones in probably the near future. So thanks for sticking around. Thank you for being awesome. Don't stop being awesome. I won't stop being Eric Schrader, the community ambassador who lives to serve you. And I will see you in the next stream. Toodles! Oh, I also just realized I didn't answer a last question. Last question. All right. Bonus stream. No. Okay, so Kix asked, may or may not have answered this yet, but Eric, is there any chance of seeing familiar faces like a certain Horag outlaw or a French bounty bot? I love this question. And I will say that this isn't going to be the last question, because there are resources to kind of put the pieces together on answering that already. I just am allowed to say, because we haven't revealed it and we haven't talked about it yet. So I'll let you do the research and hear from the community for more on that. Otherwise, the last question I will absolutely answer is I'm going to look and make sure I get something nice and delicious. Looking for a good question. That I missed, preferably. Oh my gosh. Someone just asked another question. Well, okay, here's one. Octorocket asks, will there be wingmen, pet drones, familiars? And I can absolutely, fantastically tell you that there will, for sure, absolutely for sure, be more companions that you'll be coming across who do serve in some degree and capacity as wingmen along for the ride. There will absolutely be drones that you will be able to utilize. And familiars, that kind of bridges out of the norm of what we've done in Everspace before. But long story short, there will be means to have other ships, other drones, stuff join you, even if it's momentarily. Similar-ish to Everspace 1, but also not. It's an advancement on those levels. But I might be getting a little ahead of myself regarding that, because we'll have more information to share about companions, drones, and all of that stuff in the future. But there you go. There's your little snippet for that last question. Okay, now that I've already said my goodbyes, this kind of gets a little bit awkward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point you all in the direction of the Discord where you can continue to get your beautiful informations. Grindel also added some stuff in the fan art. I think that he did that in order to help answer the question pertaining to familiar faces. So you can all check that out in the Discord directly at discord.gg/rockfishgames. Continue that conversation, seriously. We have a lot of fun with you guys. The community is really supportive. They're pretty kind. And when they're not, we ban them because we value you guys and we want to, protect this area so that it's quality for you. Come on. Otherwise, yeah, seriously, don't stop being awesome. And I won't stop being Eric Schrader, your community ambassador for Rockfish Games. And yeah, I already said toodles, but dang it, I'm going to say it again because I like to. Toodles!
Bogart Transport Designation T474. Requesting flyby permissions.